What's up, everybody? Welcome back down at the Dugout Bait and Tackle in Marietta, Georgia. The weather is finally starting to get a little nicer, and that means everybody has kayak fishing on the mind. Looking into buying kayaks, looking at what kayak to buy. So I want to talk about two of the top selling, I could say, high-end tournament style or just all-around great kayaks, and that is the Hobie Pro Angler 180 and the Hobie Pro Angler 360. So what's the difference between the 360 and the 180? Y'all, it's solely maneuverability. The 360 truly revolutionized the way we think of kayak maneuverability. With the 180, you could go forward and back, and you had to pull a reverse tab to get the kayak to move and reverse. The 360 eradicated that need by having a handle that moves the drive quite literally in 360 degrees. So they joke that you can move side to side, forward and back. So when you're working a shoreline, you're trying to hold yourself in current and wind, maneuvering between docks or stumps, y'all, you truly have to get in the 360 to experience how incredible of a kayak this is. Now, that being said, the 360 does come with a higher sticker price than the 180. So if you haven't been in the 360 and you're looking to get in your first kayak, the 180 is the kayak that I ran for 3 to 4 years and loved it. It's a rock solid kayak, and the really nice thing about it, if something happens to go wrong with your drive, getting your hands on another 180 drive is pretty easy because this same drive works in a lot of the different models across the board. Whereas with the 360, that drive is unique to that kayak. This drive can't work in there, that drive can't work in there. So if you find yourself fishing in a lot of wind or a lot of current or around a lot of different obstacles, I'm gonna recommend the 360 hands down over the 180. But if you'd rather have a kayak that might be a little bit easier to get apart, the 180 is a rock solid, proven kayak that kayak anglers have loved for over the years. And another thing to keep in mind with the 360, y'all, just like a nicer car with more bells and whistles, this kayak does require maintenance. Pretty regular maintenance if you use it as much as I do. Whereas the 180, there wasn't a whole lot you had to do with it or worry about. That being said, the maintenance on this kayak is relatively easy. I'm gonna do a whole new video on that to help walk you guys through it. But in the meantime, you can check out Hobie fishing videos, and they've got all the things you need to do to keep this kayak in good shape. You know, the 360's been around for a couple of years now, and there were some kinks that needed to be worked out with some of that equipment. And people were concerned about the longevity of it, the performance, things that could go wrong, as opposed to the bulletproof Hobie 180. So I had the opportunity to meet with Hobie because I had some of those same concerns regarding the 360. Hey, are we gonna make improvements to the drive? Are there gonna be improvements to the rudder, to the steering cable? You know, this is a way more complex system than we've ever had. And of course, there are things that are gonna go wrong with that over something that's been around for a long time and is a little bit more simple. However, I think anybody that's been in a 360 can agree with me that once you get in a 360, y'all, there's no going back. But I did want to make sure that some of the stuff was going to be resolved. So in my meeting with Hobie, met with a couple of the engineers, and I left that meeting feeling so confident in this boat moving forward that I decided to go with the Hobie Pro Angler 14 360 again for the 2022 season. So they've made tons of improvements to the drive. That's one thing I love about Hobie, y'all. They're super innovative. They're always thinking of ways to make their product better. And the 360 was wildly popular right out the gate. They not only upgraded the drive several times, they also upgraded the steering column and a lot of the components in the actual drive well. So that's the basic pros and cons, upsides, downsides of each kayak. Y'all know why I love mine. I'm fishing in all kinds of different situations, and once I had this maneuverability, there was no going back. It's the best kayak I've ever been in. But I always recommend going somewhere like the Dugout that has a demo pond where you can take all the kayaks out in the water, and you might find you jump in the 180 and you can stand not having the 360 maneuverability for the price point of the 180. You're never gonna know until you demo. So make sure you give these guys a visit, get in these kayaks, try them out. If y'all want the pros and cons on a 12 versus a 14 footer, I did another video on that last year. You can find it on my channel. Always appreciate you guys so much. Appreciate you guys showing this shop love. They're such good people. Like I said, they're family to me, and it means a lot. So we'll catch y'all next time, and thanks for stopping by.